What's up, guys? Today we're going to be modifying this CID single plane intake to accept the TIC Performance Billet elbow kit. Now, for those of you that don't know or haven't seen this kit that they offer, they send you two halves that go together to make your elbow here. This is a builder kit. You get the base flange, which is really thick. It's like 1/2 inch. And then you get your top flange, which has a receiving groove to accept your two elbow halves. If I can hold them in one hand and show you without scratching them up. So there you go. See, they just clip in there, pretty much hold yourself in there for you to weld. But what we're going to do is, which I've done a video that's way on down the list of an intake just like this for my wife's car, but I'm going to do another video on it because I'm going to show a little bit more detail. But we're going to be cutting this basically down far enough where it opens up the inlet for better air distribution. You can see the difference in what the inlet size is going to be, and that's going to really help the air, especially in your front and rear cylinders, get distributed more evenly. Plus it will increase plenum volume a little bit. Even though you're taking a little bit of height off right here, you're increasing by adding this to the top, so it's a win-win. So it comes with your throttle body flange. This is for a square throttle body like a Wilson high boost or something like that. It also comes with a burst panel, which is on the side here. It's really handy to have with an alcohol burn car or something like that. So I'm gonna walk you through the process. We're gonna get this thing put in the mill and start making some chips, and then we'll get it back over here on the table and we'll go through the process of welding this builder kit up. They keep these in stock. Check them out. I'm not sure how many of these they sell. I think they are $9.50 for this kit, which there's a lot of machining time involved in building a kit like this, so the price is what it is, but it's a really nice piece, and it's a little bit of a alternative to getting like an all billet intake or something, because I think one of these CID and LS3 intakes like this is about $1,000 with the rails. Put this on top of it, you got a $2,000 intake that's going to perform just as well, if not better, than a $4,000 billet intake. So just an option, and we're going to get this thing in the mill and start cutting it. So let's go. So no fancy stuff here. This is a old Alliant mill. Just a decent cutter head we bought off Amazon, because we don't do a lot of this, so no need to invest in a bunch of high dollar cutters. Just something to cut aluminum is about all we need. So got it held down on the table, just kind of improvising. We got this vise set up exactly where we need it for all of our production stuff, so don't really want to move it and have to worry about setting it back up square. But gonna leave the fuel rails on here. No need to take them off. We're not going to be cutting that low, so we can just leave them on there. That's about it. I got it turning pretty slow because I'm not using any kind of lubrication or anything. I don't want to have to make a mess I have to clean up prior to welding and get stuff embedded in the aluminum and then it welds like crap. So I'm just going to dry cut it slow, and we'll get it done. So let's start. And there you have it. It's pretty satisfying watching the chips fly. Even more satisfying watching them suck up in the vacuum cleaner. Alright, we got everything cleaned up and it is ready to weld. Show you the flange setting on here. Now these corners here, I could port them out a little bit, but I'm actually going to leave them there. I'm going to weld these corners here and melt them in, and then I'll weld all the way around the outside. So that's why I leave those there. It's just because it's a good surface to make a corner weld there. So that's pretty much it. We're gonna set the camera up and we're gonna start welding this together. This intake really takes a lot of heat, so I'll probably take the torch and preheat this thing for a little while, and just to get some heat in it, not really get it super hot, but just where the welder isn't struggling so much to get the heat in the piece. Now the welder I'm using, the Everlast 350. It's got plenty of heat to offer, but it still helps to preheat just a little bit, because even though your heat is really extreme right there where your torch is, the rest of the material is still trying to pull that heat out, so your puddle will get really unstable. And when welding any kind of material, just from my experience, the more stable your puddle is, the temperature, the better. Like when I'm welding the aluminum tanks, you can watch the weld puddle, and as you're welding, the more steel the puddle is, the better your weld looks. So a lot of times I won't pulse the pedal or do anything like that. I'll just try to hold a steady amperage and just adjust my travel speed where that puddle looks like just a steel water drop. And if you can get it to look like that the whole time you're running your bead, whether it be on stainless or aluminum or whatever, your weld will look a lot more consistent doing it that way. So that's just a little weld tip. So let's get the camera set up and let's start burning this thing together. Battery went dead on the camera, but sometimes you get some casts that give you a little bit of problem on welding. This one was a lot dirtier, seemed like, than usual. I mean, I didn't really change anything on my settings or anything, but just as far as the way it welded. So I didn't like the way the first pass looked, So I come back around with a really fat filler pass just to clean it up, make it look consistent all the way around. So this is what we got. Get my glove where I can move it. Yeah, so now we're ready to do the elbow. I actually did weld all the way around on the inside. See that as well. As hot as the intake was, it didn't take much effort just to close that up, so I done it while it was laying on its side in a good position. I'm going to weld the elbow up now, and we'll get this thing finished up. So we're all finished. I didn't show you but just bits and pieces of the time lapse because I had several people come by, and I had to stop and start a bunch, so it wasn't like a one continuous thing. So we got it done though. Turned out pretty good. Definitely a nice centerpiece for your engine. Having this elbow on top of the intake, it just makes it look like money. Got the inside welded as well, all the way around. Got a burst panel on the side. The only thing that's a little bit tricky on this intake is this bolt right there. What you got to do is get you one of these wrenches, the ones they send you in your toolkit that you throw away and never use, or you end up losing them. grind it down on the grinder where it's really thin right there. That way you can get on top of that bolt. Because the height of the nut is pretty much right there. And that's the only way you're going to get it. So that's the only thing you need to keep in your toolbox if you got one of these intakes. But the customer should be happy with this. Sorry, I'm still trying to get over the crud. But yeah, another TIC Performance billet elbow install complete. Like I said earlier, I double passed all this around here just because the first pass had some inconsistencies in it that I really didn't like. So I just made a really fat pass all the way around it. Blended it out. I've actually got another intake over here, a Pro Charger intake that a customer dropped off a while ago. I've got to cut the front of it off and put a different throttle body flange on it, so that should be interesting. This is their billet intake that they offer for the C7. So, chopping them intakes up. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you got any questions, drop them in the comments. Check out ticperformance.com for this billet elbow. Like I said, I think it's like $9.50 for the kit. And it's not really that bad. If you got any welding experience, it's not really that bad to install. You just gotta, welding the flange onto the intake is probably the toughest part just because it's cast and cast is dirty. So take your time there, and yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching. Subscribe. I'm about to go give you some update on grub worm over there. Will be the next video, so make sure to check that out. See you guys.